You can see today's video is a little different. I got a shirt on. Your boy owns shirts. Little razzle dazzle, thought I'd mix it up. Nah, actually I learned something new. See, this garage is insulated, but when it's cold outside, Cali cold, then it's cold in here. When it's hot outside, it's hot in here, naturally, right? So I was thinking about getting like one of those mini splits, but I'm like, man, those are pricey. I just couldn't justify it. I left this door open when I turned on my AC and the air circulated in here. So it's nice and brisk in here, man. Normally it's about 77 to like 80 degrees in here in the mornings. So I learned something new to where it's nice and brisk in here. I like it. So today's video is, fitness, better health, whatever you're trying to do. I'll always get asked, man, is it that simple or is it easy? I'll answer that for you. But I do have a bit of a science lesson as to why you should not pay attention to that number on the scale. Every morning I weigh myself. I do not advise people to do that if you have like a weird relationship with scales or anything like that. That's just something that I do. I step on the Hume scale. I have the band, I mentioned that before. It tells me those other indicators and numbers that I kind of want to know: visceral fat, whatever my body fat is at that time, how much water I'm carrying and all that stuff. And it'll give you that information versus going to try to get a DEXA scan once a week. Those are pretty pricey. So it gives me, I always say the eye test. It gives me something to refer to. And it also pulls from the scale to my my watch app. So it'll tell you, like every morning when I weigh myself, it'll tell me what my weight is. And that helps me get a better indication of what calories I'm burning, because the watch will pretty much take your height, your weight, the activity itself, your rested energy and all that. And that's how it gives you that estimated calorie burn. When people say, man, no, don't listen to the Garmin or the Apple Watch and that stuff don't work, I don't know what to listen to then. In my years of working out, I can't just come outside and be like, okay, the wind is blowing this way, I'm going to burn this many calories. Now, if I can, I'm definitely in the wrong business of life, and I should be out here getting that bag, just out here telling people how many calories they can burn just by looking at them. So no, I have to use the watch. Now, some of your favorite fitness gurus might be able to tell you something different, but as somebody that has my credentials, and I've been at this for a while, there's VO2 analyzers, there's the little chest joint, there's indirect, direct calorimetry. There's different ways that you can actually track your energy burn and stuff like that. But the easiest way for me, a simpleton, is my watch. I'm just a simple dude out here, right? So Thursday, about 190, 10.4, I posted a short, percent body fat. No, Friday, I'm sorry. And then this morning, 188, 10.7. I didn't change nothing. Everything that I ate, I'll say from Monday all the way until yesterday, was exactly the same to the number. It's by design. And this is why I'll answer the question on if fitness and eating right and all that stuff is easy or what I consider normal. Nothing, everything, the same stuff I ate. There was no, let me get this little snack in because I can fit the number. No, everything was the same. It's by default. I didn't change anything. But depending on like inflammation, how I slept, it can move that number around. And that's what happened from Friday until this morning, right? From 190 to 188. The body fat went up a little bit. Not a lot to move the needle on me paying attention, but that's what the watch told me. So today, if you've been following these videos, Saturday and Sunday are stair days. I used to make the big mistake of going out there, and I'm lower carb throughout the week. That's not what you have to do. But I used to go out there, after coming off of a Friday lower carb, and go out there Saturday morning, and I'm out there struggling, not understanding why, even after with all my knowledge that I've learned about me and fitness and my credentials. And then I said, okay, well, about a year and a half ago, let me carb up before I go out there. Like the marathon runner's been telling us for years, right? So I carb up. My old lady made some almond, some type of bread. So I ate some of that. I ate some of my snacks, protein Pop-Tarts, legendary protein donuts, blueberry cake, they're pretty good, and some other stuff to get some carbs in. And I said, okay, well, let me hop on this scale to get my actual number for now, because if I roll out to these stairs wearing 188, I'm gonna be out there for a while. I need to get up to 193 so I can just change it in my watch. And lo and behold, an hour later, from 188, 192.8. And the watch is gonna round it up to 193. Ain't no way I gained over 4 pounds in an hour. That's all I'm saying. Stop freaking out about that weight. Stop freaking out, if you do. Back to the topic that I'm supposed to before I went on my 2 tangents. People will ask me, is it simple? Is it easy? And if I know you, if we're cool, I'm gonna say you probably shouldn't do it right now then. If you think it's something that's just, you wanna do it because it's easy. Because it's a goal that you know that is important in your life. Universally, we know that we should be doing these things. And somehow you want the result of it being a tough challenge. You want to meet that result. If you think it's going to be easy, put it on the shelf for right now and then come back later when you know you got to take it seriously. Now, is it an overnight thing? No, it was never an overnight thing for me. There are changes that I made because I had to, right? I stopped drinking and there was an overnight when I stopped, but the process months after that, the physical consequences of all my drinking over the years, I felt that. But me stopping doing it is the overnight thing. So when you stop doing something, that's the overnight action. The emotional, the physical, you'll know how much you depended on all these bad habits you established for yourself once you stop. That's why it's considered gradual at that point. But yes, is it an overnight when you actually just, okay, I'm gonna stop eating like this. I'm gonna stop drinking this. That part, yeah, you hit that switch. But how you feel mentally, emotionally, physically, that's where it gets gradual. However, I do think it's easy for me now because for one, I don't lie to myself. I know what I'm supposed to do. And when you do something long enough, the right way, you'll start to really identify that, man, I was doing things the wrong way. And then we all can do it, I think. But you got to be very self-aware of the habits that you created for yourself, the hole that you dug yourself into. And if you were anything like me, you didn't want that. You didn't want that type of energy in your life. So look at it like a job. You ever see a job and it might not be something you want to do at the time. You see it years before you actually start doing it. You might be intimidated by it. It might throw you off. Man, I could never do that. How are they able to do it until you start doing it? Next thing you know, it's second nature. You're one of the best at that job. You can do that job like you looking at the back of your hand. And then when somebody asks you, how are you able to do that? You looking at them like, man, what you talking about? This easy. That's how your fitness is. That wasn't a good snap. What you talking about? This easy. There we go. That's better. That's how your fitness is. That's how your health is. So when people say, hey man, is it easy? Is it simple? If you want it to be, if you want that in your life as a permanent fixture to where you getting up doing it every day and you get to the point to where you're not doing it and you get crappy pants when I don't work out or I don't eat right like me, at that point, kinda, it is, because I know I'm supposed to be doing it. I know the benefits of it. And that's what starts throwing people off. That's where the separation, the accusations, and all that weird stuff comes. I had this dude I knew, right? I got 2 examples from 2 cats. But I had this dude I knew. And I used to run the stairs with ab cream on when it would get cold in Cali. I know, it's Cali. I'm not comparing Cali cold to East Coast cold. Like you got people that used to get in the comments, man, you don't know what it's like in New York. You're right, because I live in Cali. I didn't tell you to move there. I don't know your circumstance. So when it's Cali cold, which is like 30 degrees out, maybe less, I would put some ab cream on. And I remember I did a video about this ab cream. I did not use this ab cream in order to try to help me get abs. I was already in the game and had a fresh set of abs that I had already created years before, like in 2004. And I put in the caption, if you're cold when you're doing your cardio and you still go outside, try this ab cream. That was the caption. I knew somebody was going to read that the wrong way, but I didn't anticipate the person that asked me that he would. Now, this person was in the Navy with me. He was a CS, culinary specialist. He was a cook. And he used to glamorize all the bad food, just like some of us do. Every restaurant, every time he would make something, I think he had gotten into like a catering type joint, did pretty well. And he had reached out and he was like, hey man, does that ab cream work? And I said, well, what are you trying to use it for? He said, man, I got this gut, man. I'm trying to lose this gut. I said, well, for that, it's what you're eating. Well, no, you be using such. I said, yeah. I hear what you're saying, but it's what you're eating. I use it because it's Cali cold outside. He was in VA. I use it because it's Cali cold outside. So rather than me putting on a long sleeve shirt and I get 30 minutes into the stairs, I'm gonna want to take the shirt off. It's gonna slow my heart rate down. Or I gotta pause it. Just a bunch of stuff. I use it because I'm warm when I go outside, and because my torso is warm, it'll allow me to, keep going. He saw it as, I got abs. I'm rubbing this cream on my abs. Shortcut, easy. It must be that simple. And it wasn't. Because there's no cream you can rub on your stomach that'll give you abs. Not that I know of. I'm just telling you, it might be. If it is, put me on game, because I've been working for mine for years, man. But yeah, that was just that example of we want things to be so easy and we want the results. So we can brag about the results, but we do not want to do the work. And I say we because I was the same way. See, one thing that I've learned, speaking for like personal experience in the game of just fitness information distribution, just working out over the years, establishing good habits, not drinking, people knowing that I don't eat a certain way, getting my credentials, having my gym, possessing a look. People will ask you questions. And I try to simplify it as easy as possible. But while doing that, it will cause you to question you. It will. Because it's the simplest behavioral or habit change that you got to remove in order to change it, in order to change your life around. Like when people say, I think some people look at it like, I've never been to prison, so please don't misconstrue the message with me thinking, no. But look at it like time in the military, right? I was in it for 20 years. If you just joined the military and I retired, you'd be like, hey man, how was it? You're thinking 20 years down the line. That's 20 years of just whatever, unforeseen circumstances, command transfers, trying to stay out of trouble, just everything in that 20 years. I think some people look at fitness and health like that. When I look at it just like every day I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna track what I'm tracking, I'm gonna do my workout, I'm gonna eat the way I know I'm supposed to eat. I go to bed, protein in check, calorie deficit in check, my carbs, how I do my carbs in check. I feel good, no disappointment. I wake up hungry, probably, and then I repeat. And then if I do that long enough, I start to realize what I was doing was very harmful to me. Enough so to where you just like, man, what was I doing? I had no business doing that and I have no more desire. And the only thing that's going to bring that back into your life is people trying to pressure you to do it. Because you are now seeing the very results that they want. And they keep asking why. And I tell you, man, people will accuse you of everything while openly telling you they're not willing to do the very things you've been doing all these years. Eating right, not drinking. I've never really smoked, but that might be something. And it's just a learned lesson. Like alcohol is one thing, but I did not want to change my life because of a perishable item, food, right? To think about that out loud, I cannot change my life because of this daggone food that's keeping me in a calorie surplus, was embarrassing for me. It was disappointing for me. And then I know people that never drink. They are disciplined not to drink. And that was powerful for me to see. They never smoked. They would judge drinkers and smokers. But that food is the most legal drug there is. That food is what's glamorized. Why? Because we gotta eat, right? You gotta eat. But they couldn't get that in check. Once you get that in check, if you don't do that other stuff, you will change your life. Once you learn how to say no, oh no, I don't want none of that, man. Yeah, people gonna feel some type of way. But when you see your results, especially as you get older, especially like I can't speak to 50s because I'm not there yet. Hopefully I make it there, but I'm just saying, being mid to late 40s in good shape, man, that's the best midlife crisis, correction that I have going on right now. And I got a whole gym. But many won't understand that, especially if you know them, because it's this weird thing that happens to where when they ask you, I need you to tell me what I want to hear. I think my way is right, even though it ain't working for me. So I need you, because you've been doing this, to confirm it for me. Second example, the dude I came up with, we used to have like a crew of people we rode with in high school. He was always a bigger one. He was. At that point, he had to be, almost 250. I'm just assuming. It ain't like I could have looked at him at that time, us in high school, 11th, 12th grade, and been able to tell that, but he was bigger. When we used to go to these little 18 and under clubs, we all were, popular, but he was the bigger one. People knew that. But he had charisma. He could hoop when he would hoop. He was funny. Those traits alone will allow people to ignore the obvious shortcomings. This was before we really start learning about heart disease. So he was about 250 then. Life happens, right? You grow apart. People, they just move on. I went to the military. He stayed in we used to hang out in Long Beach. Fast forward, I would say to 2019. I was seeing photos and videos of him, almost 400 pounds. That's just me estimating. And then he did a video because he had fell in the shower and broke his toe. And I'm like, yeah, you can fall in the shower and break your toe, but I think if you carrying all that weight, there might be more to it. Not my business. At that point, I had stopped just reaching out to people I know with random information because I'm thinking they're going to listen. I'm not a dentist. I am a doctor of education. I'm not a doctor of dentistry or whatever. I can't tell you about anything like that. So I'm not about to be pulling your teeth for you to do better. And I know that's wrong, but you can't save the world when people don't want to be saved, right? Some people there's nothing you can do because you start pulling from your own bag of energy and time and effort. Is that selfish? No, because I got a family in there that I got to make sure I'm on point for them. So I saw it. None of my business. Now we had some of the other cats that I used to hang out with that didn't really talk to them, but they reached out. Hey, Mike, you think you can reach out to such and such? They ain't spoke to me in years, but they were just as worried about it as I was, right? Maybe they was telling them. I didn't understand if they was telling them or not because when y'all posting pictures, because I left. I went to the Navy. I was in San Diego. They were still in Long Beach because that was the last place I lived before I moved to South Central, before I went to the military. I was only there for a few months. And they were still hanging out. I'm seeing pictures, y'all there when he eating. Y'all got pictures together, y'all got all that stuff. Are y'all telling him then, before or after the photo? But you worried about him. You're there, you gotta say something, which they didn't. Understandable because it's very common. So he reached out to me via Facebook Messenger. Hey, what's up, Mike, man? I see you doing your thing. Very proud of you. That's usually what people give you, even though they don't rock with you. They got to come in with the salutation, like, hey, man, I see you, man. Very inspiring. You never hit like, but cool, right? I stopped caring about that years ago because I stopped getting them. And he said, hey, man, what's some good workouts that I can do? I'll be seeing you do all these workouts. What's some good workouts I can do to drop a little weight? Now, I'm thinking, a little weight, you about 400? But okay. I said, man, scratch all that. Just start going for a daily walk, and it has to change in that kitchen. He didn't want to hear that. What he wanted to hear was me to tell him to go out here and do maybe some pelvic thrusts or some arm circles. You do those 20 minutes every day, man, you'll drop 100 pounds. No, that's not how it was. You got to change what you're eating because now that's the danger level. You 400, what are you doing, right? He said, yeah. He kind of played it off. I could tell by the way we were, messaging. I said, here's my number, man. Call me tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, man. I said, I'll give you a whole meal plan. This is back when I was doing meal plans. Didn't hear from that dude since. A week later, he unfriended me on Facebook. It wasn't because I did a post, man, such and such. I don't like fat people. I don't like fat people I went to high school with. No, I was doing my regular long form post even back then, posting workout videos. He didn't like it because it hurt. And I didn't tell him what he wanted to hear. That is the story of my life with a lot of you. Yeah, is it easy? Is it simple? Once you make it a permanent, once it's normal for you, yeah, it is. Because you know how to tell yourself no. Don't lie to people. Once you lie, you lose them. You do. Keep people around you that's going to tell you the truth. And I'm talking about just going to tell you the truth. To the side. You got people around you that will openly tell you the truth in front of people just to embarrass you. Man, I look fat in this shirt. Yeah, you look fat in that shirt. Man, he asked me if you look fat in this shirt. That ain't your partner. That's somebody that's trying to make you feel bad. They might be right. But nah, if y'all together, hey man, is this noticeable? Yes. I told you that. You got to fix that, bro. Keep them people around. They might hurt your feelings because they're calling you out on actions and the way you living, and you knew it was bad in the first place, which is why you asked them. Which is why the people that are out here killing it, that you keep them in your circle. For one, you want to be associated with that greatness because it's contagious. Two, you know at that time when you're ready to change, if you don't piss them off, they still gonna be there. That's why people think they keep me around. They think they keep me around. Yeah, it's hard work, but it don't take rocket science for you to figure that out because you know you want it. And it don't take me even saying those words for that to even be true. All I gotta do is when I was on social media is just look. I would look at New Year's resolution posts and okay, now it's time. People want that stuff so bad, but they're just not willing to make the behavioral change. And when they don't, I can tell you somebody that's on the other end of it, that's when the accusations of TRT, steroids, and it's easy for you and you got better genetics. I told you before, my pops used to work out, so I give you that. But I can't be mad at him and my mama, right, for conceiving me that night or day. I wasn't there. I don't know anything about that. But I'm just saying, people will put all that stuff on you because it's anger, it's disappointment, it's embarrassment. And rather than taking those emotions and spinning them, like I say, pain, playlist pace, if you take that pain and you turn it inward and you use it in order to start fixing what you didn't already messed up, you'll start seeing your results. But we don't. And with the emergence of how social media has taken over our lives, we don't think nothing's possible. We don't think anybody can do anything because they got a hidden advantage and they inherited this and this was going on. Like, no. That's why it is the most powerful thing not being on social media right now. And then YouTube, I control my algorithm. I can't tell you what's going on in the world right now unless it's important enough for my girl to mention it. Outside of that, I don't know. I ain't got nobody ruining TV shows and movies. Like people won't just spoiler. Hey man, it was good. I hated this part. I ain't got none of that going on. I ain't got to see no arguments. I ain't got to see people, even though we don't talk like that I'm close with, out here harming themselves. I remember this cat I was always cool with in the military. But, you know, like I say, people grow apart. I had got out. He had did like a Facebook Live and he was just drunk on the Facebook Live. So drunk and just, it was like a car crash and I'm watching it, but I'm also looking as he's doing the live and he's introducing people that I also used to know. And I'm like, y'all allowing this. This dude got kids that are probably old enough to be on social media and y'all allowing him to post this. Please don't please tell him to take it down because when you get up the next morning and you sober, you see this. And it's because it was just that bad to where social media is just a dangerous game. Very lucrative, very productive. It'll allow you to get out a message, or if you like me, you see a message that's powerful. But it's also dangerous. It's also harming a lot of us. Don't get me started on these AI altered photos and these face filters and all this other stuff. I personally think people are giving themselves a mental illness when they take to those photos. You got people that sharing these AI photos that don't even look nothing like them. They're not like the old ones. Back in the day when they first came out, you were like a rock star astronaut. Little features of your face, but you somewhere on the moon. Everybody, oh, that's cool. Now you got people that's just, you don't even know who that is no more. And then you got people in the comments like, oh, that's so beautiful. You're such a beautiful queen. And then you sound like a hater for like, that ain't them. So rather than be a part of all that, I remove myself. And it has been awesome for my psyche. If you somebody that ain't getting that bag on social media, this is just my personal suggestion. I always say unsolicited advice. You ain't getting that bag on social media. You somebody that got your family life and friendships intact via phone, not social media, right? Or you ain't potentially about to get that bag, monitor that stuff. If you want to see how long you on there, go look at that screen time. Some people don't even look at that screen time feature because it's probably going to tell you be on there 12 to 18 hours. Just get off of there for a little bit to see what's really going on, man. Get your attention span back. Everything's like a slot machine. You can't, if you notice you can't look at something longer than 5 or 10 minutes, it's what's going on there. So yeah, is the fitness part easy for me? Yeah, not to be offensive, but it's because I made it such a permanent in my life. So those things that you can get up and you can do with your eyes closed by default, that's this now. And it's also like drinking water. I got to pay my bills. My bills are set to auto pay. So is my fitness. So is my eating right. It's on auto pay.